Hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Finadi. I am postdoc at Insta Paris, and I am working with Julien Alexandre Desandrito from Insta Paris 2 E2S Laboratory, and with Laurent Fribourg from LSV Laboratory in Paris. So my presentation is titled Towards a Robust and a Guaranteed Model Predictive Control with Quantified Uncertainties. I will start by a small introduction, just to make you in the context of my work. Control of robotic devices is often designed using mathematical or physical models, which are most of them are related to some more specifically are related to some uncertain and unknown parameters that needs to be identified. If these parameters are not well identified, the control of these robotic devices cannot be stable and accurate, and their efficiency can be decreased. So to overcome these issues, this is the purpose of my presentation today. It is important to know how to identify the dynamic model in a guaranteed way. When I say guaranteed way, it means we have to identify them as intervals instead of constant values. And once these parameters are identified, we have to use them in the control of the robots in order to achieve high accuracy and high stability of the controllers. So in order to introduce in a good way the motivations of the postdoc project, I think this scheme diagram can be more presentable and more meaningful. So here we are interested in these two blocks, the control block of the robotic device, and also on the identification and observation block. So the first topic that we are interested in is we need to have an accurate model that requires a guaranteed identification of the parameters, mainly the dynamic parameters that the model is related in. And once these parameters are identified, taking into account all the uncertainties coming from the system and also the modeling as well, including also the noises of the embedded sensors of the system. Once these parameters are identified, the second topic that we are interested in is the control of the robotic device. So here we are interested, we will use mainly the identified parameters identified in a guaranteed way to develop a robust and guaranteed nonlinear model predictive control that optimizes some cost functions to ensure the path tracking task and also to handle all the constraints of the system. So this is the main topics that we are interested in this postdoc. So I will just introduce the experimental device. So all our approaches or our methods will be validated using this system, which is a simple system. It is an inverted pendulum that we have designed and manufactured in our lab. This device is equipped with a DC motor or a brushless motor to actuate the first joint, and the second joint is a passive one. And we have also two encoders to measure the angle of the rotative arm and also the angle of the pendulum arm. So the purpose of this project is to stabilize the pendulum arm in the upright position. The rest of my presentation will be done following this plan. So I will start by the introduction of our method that we use to identify in a guaranteed way the dynamic parameters, and then I will introduce the theoretical part of the guaranteed nonlinear model predictive control, and I will finish with a conclusion and future works. Let's start by the first part. So I will just remind you the dynamic model of the inverted pendulum. So the inverse dynamic model can be expressed by this equation, this dynamic equation, and which is an ordinary differential equation And this equation is related mainly to these matrices. So we have inertia matrix, which is symmetric and definite positive. And we have Q, which is the gravity matrix, depends on the gravity forces. And we have B, it is a centrifugal and Coriolis matrix. Gamma is the external torque vector. This external torque vector, it is related mainly on the torque supplied at each joint. Since the second joint is passive, so we don't have any external torque, and the external torque must take into account the friction conditions. So here we will friction is indeed well modeled in the literature, but here we will use just a simple model. So the torque friction torque is proportional to the velocities of each joint. So here we have the coefficient of proportionality, which is a viscous friction parameter. So this model can be written simply by this equation, and we can notice that the dynamic model, the inverse dynamic model, can be written in a linear way according to needed parameters. So this is the parameters that we have to identify in a guaranteed way in order to achieve high accuracy and high stability of the controller. In the first time, we have applied a traditional least square method in order to identify them. It's commonly used in robotics. So this method is based mainly on the optimization of the output, measured output and estimated output, to estimate the parameters in deterministic way. So here we generate some excited trajectories in open loop that we will apply to the robot, and we can measure in real time all the parameters. So we can measure the position of the joints, and then we apply some sampling and derivative filters to compute the velocity and the acceleration of the joints. On the other hand, we can use the inverse dynamic model to estimate the torque applied by the DC motor, and then we can generate what we call the observability matrix at each time step. And on the other hand, we can also apply this mechanical relationship that is given by the motor constructor to calculate the torque applied by the DC motor. So the purpose here is to optimize the error between this estimated vector and this computed vector to get the identified parameters. Nevertheless, the quality of the identification by this kind of approaches cannot be ensured. That's why a guaranteed identification using interval analysis and set inversion methods is required to reach high accuracy and high quality of estimation. So here we will use the CV algorithm, which is a sophisticated and a very powerful algorithm to estimate these parameters in a guaranteed way. So the CVA means set inversion via interval analysis, which is initially developed by Luc Julin. And the purpose of this algorithm is to find, as can be seen by this equation, is to find the intervals of all the dynamic parameters with respect to this dynamic equation. And as we can see, all the collected data can be presented as intervals by adding a bounded error to each collected data. So here I will just introduce quickly the principle of the CV algorithm. So the CV algorithm, here we can distinguish two spaces. So here we have the parameter space and we have the data set space that are linked by the inclusion function, and the inclusion function is the inverse dynamic model. So here we can distinguish three kinds of union boxes. So we have the boxes that are feasible, the subpavings, feasible subpavings, which belongs to the feasible set of parameters, and their images by these inclusion functions belongs to the output measured boxes. And we have the unfeasible subpavings, like the blue one, which are outside of the feasible set parameters, and their images is outside of the output boxes. And we have the undetermined ones, which are not either outside or inside. And in this case, we have to bisect, or what we call also penumbra. And in this case, we have to bisect them in order to get small subpavings until achieving the accuracy of the CV algorithm. So this kind of problem is a set inversion problem. And the feasible parameters can be calculated by computing the reciprocal image of the output boxes that must be intersected with the initial interval of parameters, as can be seen by this equation. Okay, so now I will introduce some results of this guaranteed identification. So we have implemented a bank strategy using the inverted to validate our identification approach. So we implement a bank strategy. Look, we have tested two exciting trajectories. So the first figure is the first trajectory. So here we have the angular positions that we have recorded using the inverted pendulum, and the second figure is the second trajectory. As can be seen, all the data are recorded as intervals by adding a bounded error to each collected data. So in the table, we have the results using the least square method. So the first, this data are the identified data using the first trajectory, and the second one are the data identified using the second trajectory. On the other hand, we can also use the CAD software. So here we use the SolidWorks to deduce some geometric and inertial parameters. And we can notice that these parameters are much more closer to identified ones. And on the other hand, we have computed the mean value of these parameters, of each parameter, and we have quantified the uncertainties related to these 5 initial parameters, as can be summarized by this step. Yes. So here we have the mean value of each parameter, and we have quantified the uncertainties of each one. And on that perspective, we have applied the CV algorithm, and we generate these subpavings. So that the right one is the subpavings generated by the first trajectory, and second one is the subpavings generated by second trajectory. So the blue one is the unfeasible, the yellow one is the undetermined, and the red ones, the feasible ones. So as can be seen, from these subpavings we can deduce this standard and common box, so the first interval is the interval of the first viscous friction parameter of the first joint, and the second one is for the second viscous parameter of the second joint. So in order to show the efficiency or the effectiveness of our identification approach, we will apply in the first time the cross-validation method, which is very used in robotics. And it is simple because here we compare just the measured torque with the estimated ones. So the measured one using the real system and the estimated ones using the identified parameters with the least square method and with the severe parameters. And we can notice that they are similar and they are close. All the curves are close between them. And to evaluate this, we can calculate what we call the Roth mean square error, which is calculated by this formula. And this is around 6% with the least square parameters against 2% with the severe parameters, which indicates a good fit and a good coherence when the uncertainties of the system are accounted. On the other hand, in order also to evaluate the identification approach, we can solve this kind of ODE equation, the ordinary differential equation. So our dynamic model can be written in as direct dynamic model by this high order ordinary differential equation with respect to these initial conditions. So here we have the state and the initial state which belongs to this box, and we have also the input the initial input belongs to this box. So since the function f is is Lipschitz and continues in state and input, this ODE equation admits a unique solution at each time step. And in order to solve this ODE equation, we can use DNIBEX library. I will explain the principle of DNIBEX. So DNIBEX allows us to compute the solution of this equation as boxes. So here we have the sequence of time instance as inputs, and we have also the sequence of the state. Each state variable, we can get the interval of inclusion. And this approach is based mainly on the range quota schemes, which are powerful integration methods in numerical way. And we use this to solve our direct dynamic model, and we got these results. So we did these tests for many scenarios. I will show you just two scenarios. So this one is the guaranteed simulation using these initial conditions, and the second one is this other initial conditions. So here we compare the measurements using the real system with the simulated ones using the least square parameters and the CVA parameters. So as we can see that the measurements, the real system, are very close to the simulated model. And to evaluate this, we can use what we called coverage ratios or coverage rates that can be calculated using this formula, where NT is the number of times when the measured data is included into the simulated boxes. And this test is very draconian, and it's not easy to evaluate because of the timing lag and the synchronization between the simulation and the experiments. We explain the small results or small percentages of inclusion between the simulation and the experiments. Nevertheless, we can see that the percentages are important when the CVA parameters are used than the ones compared with the least square parameters. And this is due to the fact that all the parameters using CVA parameters are considered as intervals instead of real numbers. So now I will just present the second part, which is based on the first part. I will use the guaranteed identification parameters to develop my guaranteed nonlinear model predictive control. So nonlinear model predictive control is a very powerful technique that is commonly used in robotics and also in chemical process because of its ability to handle constraints and also to anticipate future changes in set point and in reference trajectory. So the principle here of the NMPC to predict the dynamic behavior of the system along the prediction horizon. So the prediction horizon is the number of sampling time of the control signal multiplied by the sampling period of this signal. And the purpose here is to compute the optimal inputs at each time step. And then we inject the first input into the system that is optimal and smooth and respects all the constraints of the system. So the NMPC approach is based mainly on the optimization problem that minimizes some cost function that can be expressed carefully and that respects the system constraints, mainly the input saturations and also the state limits. Okay, so the continuous cost function can be expressed using this integral along the prediction horizon of this quadratic form that minimizes the norm of the difference between the output, predicted output and the reference output, and also the norm of input vector, taking into account the Witten matrices Q and R that must be adjusted and adequately. So in order to use the numerical simulation, we have to express this cost function in a discrete form. So for that, we, as I said, the cost function is the integral of this quadratic form, and we can use the linearity of the integral to express this integral by this relation, and then we can use because the control input is constant along the sampling period of input signal, we can write the second integral by this discrete form, and then we can use the rectangle rule to express the first integral by this inclusion using the intervals analysis. So I will just introduce fast and quick the algorithm. I will not detail them because we didn't validate yet this. We don't have validates this method. So here, the principle, we start from a box of inputs, and then we bisect them if the tolerance is not validated, and then we use Dynamics library to simulate the ordinary differential equations along the sampling period of input, and then we check if this output signal is included into the reference box, and this is repeated for all the sampling along the prediction horizon. Once the inputs are computed, we can minimize the cost function. So here we bisect again all the control inputs, mainly the first one, into the left and right parts, and then we can calculate the cost function, and we take the input that minimize this cost function, and we inject into the system the minimum bound of this input interval. So we are currently working on the validation of this approach using the inverted pendulum. So I will finish. So to conclude, in this work we have developed a new. We have identified in a guaranteed way all the dynamic parameters of the inverted pendulum, and also the friction parameters, taking into account various uncertainties related mainly to the mathematical model and also to the sensors data. Another contribution of this work is we have also taken into account the identified parameters using the Dynamics library to simulate the ODE, a higher order ordinary differential equation, using which is based mainly on interval analysis and set inversion methods. On the other hand, we have formulated a new guaranteed nonlinear model predictive control to compute the optimal and smooth inputs that must be injected into the system control. As the future works, so we are working currently on the experimental validation of the nonlinear model predictive control using the inverted pendulum that also will be projected using another kind of system, more complex, as the underwater robot, which is available in our lab. And this kind of robots requires also the online estimation and self-calibration of some parameters, mainly the environmental parameters, as the aerodynamics coefficients. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks for the very interesting talk. I have a very basic question. Like, how does this prediction of parameters with the least square method, how does this relate to nonlinear Kalman filters?
It is a good question, but I don't think that I am able to answer it because I am not very qualified in Kalman filtering.
Okay, but thanks. Yeah, thanks.
When you are evaluating your cost function, you are evaluating numerically an integral. Is this performed in a guaranteed way, or do you only consider approximations?
Yes. So for the cost function that we did, we formulate the cost function in a discrete form, because the discrete form it can be much more easier to simulate it with Dynamics, And at each time step, we compute approximately the cost function, and we get we keep the input that leads to the chip's cost function in a guaranteed way, effectively.
So the solution thus may be suboptimal, but you have something which may satisfy all your constraints.
Exactly, the constraints are fulfilling by construction, because at each time step we check if the input diameter, because the input is represented as interval, and we can compute the diameter of the interval, and this diameter must not be greater than some values.
Thank you.